Almost just killed myself. Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another repair video. We are looking at an Epiphone Special SG model. Super common guitar, especially with beginners. And one of my students, he broke the nut on this guitar. And what I'm going to do, I'll come over here so you guys can see there. He broke the nut right on where that E string is. You can see there. So what I'm going to do is go through a quick video of me replacing this nut and just kind of walk you guys through it if this ever happens. It's a pretty cheap fix. You just buy a new nut online. This is the one I'm using here, so you guys can pause that and get a shot of that. But this is going to be the replacement nut, and it's like maybe 15 bucks or so, and you guys can do this relatively quickly. All it's going to take is a little bit of super glue, razor blade, and maybe something to help you tap out this old nut. So the first thing I'm going to do is just loosen these strings up and we will get started here. All right, so now that I got all the strings loosened up, I'm just going to take a razor blade here and I'm going to score this side of the nut and maybe even in the back here just a little bit. I'll probably take this off too, actually. Let me take this little cover off here. That way I got full access. So let's see, yep, I'm going to try to score in front here first. And this is really just to loosen any glue. I want to try not to actually harm the fretboard, right? So you want to be really careful when you're doing this. I'm going to use this little screwdriver with a little flathead on the end of it. And I'm going to use that to tap underneath here. Sort of like this. Look at that. Boom. And that broke it off. Now a little piece did chip here, so I'm going to have to clean that out. You can see just like that, that was pretty quick. There was glue on the bottom here, over here, and they did have a little bit of glue up here. So that's kind of why you want to score that front side, because if there's glue there, you want to try to break up as much of it as you can. And now I'm just going to kind of try to tap this out. So I want to try to clean this up as much as possible. There we go. And to be honest with you, it's pretty smooth under there. Doesn't really look smooth from this top view, but it's actually not bad at all. Now you could take like a little piece of sandpaper and then just sand inside here. So that's what I'm going to do. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to take this piece of sandpaper and I'm just going to break off a piece. And I'm going to sort of sand that little spot there on the neck. And just try to smooth it out a little bit. Basically, I'm trying to remove the old glue that was on here. I'm going to change the strings up again. Alright, so that's pretty clean. Now I'm just going to take out my new nut here. Let's see. I'm going to take out the new nut. Yeah, so what I like to do here is I'll probably shave off the ends to get this thing to line up correctly. You see how it's a little bit shorter? It's a little bit shorter there, and it's shorter on that on that side. So what I'll do is I will mark this. So what you want to do is you want to line it up. If the new one that you get is longer, you're going to line it up like this. I just eyeball this stuff. Some people get all crazy with, you know, using exact measurements and whatnot. But I'm just going to line it up like this, and I'm going to sand off that little bit. And the way I do that is I take a marker and I'll just mark that spot. You get a marker. I'm going to line up those first two holes. Make a little, I'm going to score the edge there. I'm going to sand off what I just made black there. So yeah, I'm going to sand that down. So now to sand this, I'm literally going to put this on the floor and sand it. Watch that. You can see I basically got rid of that black mark that I had made on the end here. Okay, now if you want to shape it, you can shape the top or whatever. But I'm not too worried about it. The only other thing I'm going to do is I am going to take off a little bit because it seems to be a tiny bit thicker than what has to go in there. So I'm just going to lay this flat and sand it this way. See that? I just want to get it to where I can pop it in here. It's super close. I got a little bit more. Let's check it again. Super close, but not there. Close. All right, check it out. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Just wipe this down real quick. Like I said, I'm going to change these strings anyway. But now all we're going to do is take some good old super glue. And we will glue this bad boy in there. Here we go. So I put a dab of glue, dab of glue. I'm just going to put 2 dots in. That way it's not held super tight in there. And if we need to make any adjustments, I can pull it out. So the glue is going to hold that. I'm just going to go ahead and put the strings on right away. I'm not worried about the glue right now because if anything, I can pop it out anyway and just make any adjustments if I want to. But I'm basically just going to go ahead, put the strings back on, tune it up, test it, and then see if we're good. So it's worth mentioning that I usually do have to use nut files when I do a replacement on a nut. On this guitar, I actually got lucky. I guess I matched the height up pretty good with the old one, and the nut that I bought was actually designed, I guess, for this guitar. So it was kind of lined up exactly the way it was with the old nut, as far as like the depth of each nut slot. So where the string sits, there's a little indentation. And Music Nomad, I'm not sponsored by them, but I love this little set that they sell. It looks like this. It comes in this little case. And basically what it is it's a set of nut files. And it also comes with a gauge. And these little files are set up for each string. Like it'll tell you like that one's 13, so that would be like the G string or whatever. And basically what you would be able to do is come down here, and then you would use the little thing, the little sanded part to grind away and deepen that slot that the string sits in. That's only if you need it. In this case, I really didn't need it on this guitar. Let me grab a tuner real quick. I almost just killed myself. We're working. Cool, man. We have the nut fixed now. Check it out. Pretty quick fix. It's done. Looks good. Matches both sides. Quick and easy, guys. And didn't cost a ton of money. Parts were 15 bucks. Now you learn how to do this stuff yourself, you're going to save a lot of money, because then you're not even going to have to pay somebody else to do it. And it's like, you want to learn the parts of the guitar. It's part of like the enjoyment of playing guitar, I think. It's like learning how to replace things and do stuff. And I'm going to have a happy student now, because he's going to get this guitar back and he can finally play it again. And I got no fret buzz, which is super nice. I didn't want fret buzz because that's always another mission, but probably not nut related. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy these little tutorials on how to do these small repairs. Don't forget to check out my guitar flashcards. If you guys are studying music theory, they'll help you memorize the notes on the guitar, interval shapes, chord formulas, scale formulas, and a bunch of music theory topics. And there's also a music theory course on my website, tunedinguitarcourses.com. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and I will be putting out another playing video next week to give you guys some insight on maybe soloing and that kind of thing. So anyway, thanks again. God bless.